Hello students. The next loop that we'll discuss is the do-while loop, which is also a very interesting loop structure in C. The general syntax of do-while loop is do and then followed with a brace and then the body of the loop, the statements that are to be executed, and then the closing brace and then the test condition while test condition. So the test condition is given within a while statement. So what does this do? That the body of the loop is executed as long as the test condition is true, but one thing to note here is that the test condition is tested after executing the body of the loop. That is, once first of all, when the do statement is encountered, the body of the loop will be executed without any condition. Unconditionally, the body will be executed. After execution, the test condition will be tested. If the test condition is found false, then the loop will exit, and if the test condition is true, the body will be executed once again. Right. So this is what I have written here. The test condition is a logical expression, and when a do-while loop is encountered, the body of the loop is executed first and then the test condition is evaluated. So if the test condition is found to be true, then the body is executed again. If it is false, then the control exits the loop. Thus, in a do-while loop, the test condition is evaluated after execution of the body of the loop. Hence, it is an exit control loop. Right. It is to be noted that the first execution of the do-while loop occurs unconditionally. Even if the test condition is false, the first execution will occur unconditionally. Right. So the same does not happen for while loop and for loop, because both these loops are entry control loop. So one example, let us try the same problem that we had done with for loop and while loop. It can also be done with do-while loop. So it's a program to compute the sum 1 plus 2 plus up to n. So hash include stdio.h void main, these are compulsory. Then start with 3 variables. One is n, another is I, we initialize it to 1, and the sum variable we initialize it to 0. So here is the do loop that starts, do while loop. Do sum takes the value of sum plus I, and then the increment is done within the loop. If the increment is not done, then the loop will run into an infinite loop. So continue running this loop till the value of I remains less than or equal to n. So once it is greater than n, the loop will exit. So printf 1 plus 2 plus 3 up to n equal to %d sum. Okay, so this is a simple program to illustrate the do while loop. So let us see how this program runs. Gedit program 17 do while. So this is the program that we have written using the do while statement. So let us run this program. /prog 17 do while. Enter n, so 5. So it's 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 5 equal to 15. Say 10, it's 55. Okay, so that is how the program runs. What happens if I do not include the I++ statement here, the increment here? In that case, the value of I doesn't change, and let us see what happens. At each execution, the value of I remains as 1, and always the test condition will be satisfied. It will not show you any error, but see 5. It's not giving you any output, right? So it is just blinking. Actually, the loop is running. We can just test it with the printf statement that the loop actually is running in the background. With the printf statement. So what it is doing, it is just computing what is sum. Okay, so let us just put one printf statement, then you will be able to understand that it is actually an infinite loop. Printf %d backslash d sum. Okay, control q. Now let us see what happens. Say 5. See, this is the infinite loop. So earlier we did not use any printf statement, so you were not being able to see anything what is happening. So actually the loop has run into an infinite loop because the value of I doesn't change, and every time this test condition is satisfied. So it is necessary to give the increment or decrement statements inside the loop. Okay, so now this is okay. Let us see another program using do while loop. Say this one program to compute the GCD of two numbers. We had already written this program using while loop. Let us try to write this with do while loop now. So we start with these variables a, b, d, capital D, small d and small r. So in the earlier video we had already discussed how the Euclidean algorithm works. So one more application of do while loop is trapping of error. So in the earlier video, while finding out GCD, we had seen that if we enter 0 values, the program either gives the correct value if b is non-zero, or if b is entered as 0, then there is a division error involving division by 0. So that error can be trapped using the do while statement. Okay, so this is what I have done. We have included this in a do statement. Printf enter two non-zero integers. Scanf statement is given, and keep on repeating these statements as long as the product AB is 0. That means if any one of the numbers is entered at 0, the loop will keep on executing itself. That means every time it will ask for non-zero integers if you enter any one of them as 0. So that way we can trap error. So we take d equal to a, small d equal to b, and then the do loop starts here. Do r equal to, you compute the remainder d%d. So the loop should keep on running as long as r is non-zero. So it's while r not equal to 0. And then what we do, we change capital D takes the value of small d and small d takes the value of r. Okay, but one thing you should note is, since we are doing the do while loop here, the last value of r, the last non-zero remainder is actually capital D here, because we have already changed interchanged the values. So the last non-zero remainder is capital D actually, because small d takes the value of r equal to 0. When in the last step, when r becomes 0, we make the change after calculating the value of r. So small d becomes 0. So small d is not the 0 is not the greatest common divisor. It is actually small d of the earlier step. So here the GCD is given by this capital D. Capital D will give you the GCD. Okay. Because capital D has been assigned the value of small d in the last step. Last non-zero remainder has been assigned to capital D. Okay. So this is the program for computing GCD. Just let us have a look. Program 18 do while, yeah, int a b d r ddr. Okay, so we have included this check statement here, do while. If you enter 0, any one of them is 0, then you will be asked to enter it again. Let us see how it works. /program 18. Okay. Whatever, program 18 do while. I did not execute probably. GCC, I didn't compile. 18. Okay, let's do it now. Enter two non-zero numbers, say 0 and 2. See again, so it is trapping this error that I have entered something 0, because I have given the test condition as a star b equal to 0. If a star b equal to 0, then continue the loop. So again it will ask me to enter some non-zero numbers. So let us see, we enter again 0 number. again we enter 0. So every time you enter 0 numbers, it will keep on repeating itself. So you enter some non-zero numbers now. So GCD of 12 and 6 is 6. And so that way we can make our programs better. Right. Another example, program to illustrate unconditional run of the do while loop. So in the beginning I told you that do while loop executes the statement, the body of the loop unconditionally at least once, even if the test condition is false. So let us have a look at that. Int I equal to 1, printf I equal to 1 which is less than 5, right? So value of I is initially 1, and then we write the do statement do, but the loop runs at least once. See the test condition is y I greater than 5. So I greater than 5 is clearly false because value of I is 1 here. So even if the condition false, because the condition is tested after executing the body of the loop, that is why at least once this loop will run. Okay, so just let us see program 17, 18, 19. Okay, this is the program. Int I equal to 1, printf I equal to 1 which is less than 5, but this body of the do loop will be executed at least once. Okay, so let us see what happens. Dot slash program 19 I equal to 1 which is less than 5, but the loop runs at least once. Okay, once it runs, and after that it checks the condition. The condition is I greater than 5, but 1 is not greater than 5, so the loop will not run again. Okay, so this is the one. So another say suppose I want to run a program and I want to keep on executing the program as long as the user wants. Okay, so I need some statement like or question like, do you want to continue? So in that case, do while statement can be very useful. So let us see how it is done. Hash include stdio.h. For this particular program, we will need another header file known as ctype.h, because we will be using a special character function. What is that? That is toUpper. So here we use a character variable, character ans, that is answer, and do start the do loop, welcome, do you want to continue? So it is asking the user that whether he wants to continue or not. If he wants to continue, please enter y, and if you do not want to continue, enter no. So the input will be taken using this scanf statement, and then it will test, the program will test whether the answer is y or not. So it may happen that the user enters y in smaller case, lower case, that is small letter. So in that case, if I do not include this toUpper function, then what will happen? The program will check whether the answer is capital Y or not. If it is small y, it will not execute. So but that's not very logical, because small y and capital Y both mean yes in the everyday life. So we need to keep this extra condition that whatever be the input, you convert the input to uppercase letter and then you compare. The program will convert the input answer to uppercase, and then it will compare with the capital Y. So even if somebody enters small y, toUpper will convert that small y to capital Y, and then it will test with this. So if after converting to capital letter the character matches with y, then you continue, otherwise you stop the program. Okay, so let us see how this program runs. Gedit program 20. So this is the program, character answer, this is the do while loop, toUpper answer y. So we have included another header file ctype.h, right? So let us see how this runs. 20, welcome, do you want to continue? So let us enter small y. See, so it's recognizing, it's converting small y to capital Y and then comparing the condition, the test condition. Do you want to continue? Say capital Y. So it will again ask. So the program is continuing. Suppose I want to enter n, it will stop, right? Or if I enter something other than n, then also it will stop. Okay. So these are some programs using the do while loop. Okay. So in the next video we will be discussing break and continue statements, which are used to jump out of the loop. Before completion of the total loop, we jump out of the loop using break and continue statements, which are also very important. So we will see that in the next video.